Hello everyone. Welcome back to History Lessons. Today we are going to learn about the social reform movements including the Brahmo Samaj, Arya Samaj and Aligarh movement. This forms a part of class 11 ISC Board syllabus. So let's get started. In 1828, Raja Ram Mohan Roy found a new religious society named the Brahmo Sabha, which later came to be known as Brahmo Samaj, whose purpose was to purify Hinduism and to preach monotheism or belief in one God. The new society was to be based on the twin pillars of reason and the Vedas and Upanishads. It was also to incorporate teachings of other religions. The Brahmo Samaj laid emphasis on human dignity, opposed idolatry, and criticized such evils as the practice of sati. The Brahmo tradition of Raja Ram Mohan Roy was carried forward after 1843 by Devendranath Tagore, who also repudiated the doctrine that the Vedic scriptures were infallible, and after 1866 by Keshab Chandra Sen. The Brahmo Samaj made an effort to reform Hindu religion by removing abuses and basing it on the worship of one God and on the teachings of the Vedas and the Upanishads, even though it repudiated the doctrine of the infallibility of the Vedas. It also tried to incorporate the best aspects of modern Western thought. Most of all, it based itself on human reason, which was to be the ultimate criterion for deciding what was worthwhile and what was useless in the past or present religious principles and practices. It was for that reason that the Brahmo Samaj denied the need for a priestly class for interpreting religious writings. Every individual had the right and the capacity to decide with the help of his own intellect what was right and what was wrong in a religious book or principle. Thus, the Brahmos were basically opposed to idolatry and superstitious practices and rituals. They were, in fact, opposed to the entire Brahmanical system. They believed they could worship one God without the mediation of the priests. The Brahmos were also great social reformers. They have actively opposed the caste system and child marriage and supported the general uplift of women, including widow remarriage and the spread of modern education to men and women. The Brahmo Samaj was weakened by internal dissensions in the second half of the 19th century. Its influence was confined mostly to urban educated groups. It had a decisive influence on the intellectual, social, cultural, and political life of Bengal and the rest of India in the 19th and 20th centuries. Now, let us move on to the second topic of our discussion, the Arya Samaj. The Arya Samaj undertook the task of reforming Hindu religion in North India. The founder of this Samaj was Swami Dayanand Saraswati, who believed that selfish and ignorant priests had perverted Hindu religion with the aid of the Puranas. Swami Dayanand believed in the infallibility of the Vedas, and he rejected those religious thoughts that conflicted with the Vedas. This total dependence on the Vedas and their infallibility gave his teachings an orthodox coloring, for infallibility meant that human reason was not to be the final deciding factor. His approach had a rationalistic aspect because the Vedas, though revealed, were to be rationally interpreted by himself and the others. Individual reason was the decisive factor. He believed that every person had the right of direct access to God. Moreover, instead of supporting orthodoxy, he attacked it and led a revolt against it. The teachings he derived from his own interpretation of the Vedas were consequently similar to the religious and social reforms that other Indian reformers were advocating. He was opposed to idolatry, ritual and priesthood, and particularly to the prevalent caste practices and popular Hinduism as preached by the Brahmins. He also favored the study of Western sciences, where he had discussions with Keshab Chandra Sen, Vidyasagar, Justice Ranade, and other modern religious and social reformers. The ideas of Arya Samaj, with its Sunday meeting, resembled the practices of Brahmo Samaj and Prarthana Samaj. Some of his followers started a network of schools and colleges in the country to impart education on Western lines. Lala Hansraj played a leading part in this effort. The Arya Samajists were vigorous advocates of social reform and worked actively to improve the condition of women and to spread education among them. They fought untouchability and the rigidities of the hereditary caste system. They advocated social equality and promoted social solidarity and consolidation. They also inculcated a spirit of self-respect and self-reliance among the people. They also promoted nationalism. One of Arya Samaj's objectives was to prevent the conversion of Hindus to other religions, and this led to start a crusade against other religions. Arya Samaj's reformist work tended to remove social ills and to unite people. Its religious work tended, though perhaps unconsciously, to divide the growing national unity among Hindus, Muslims, Parsis, Sikhs, and Christians. Now, we have come to the last topic of our discussion: Syed Ahmed Khan and the Aligarh movement. Movements for religious reform were late in emerging among the Muslims, and a beginning in this direction was made when the Muhammadan Literary Society was founded at Calcutta in 1863. This society promoted discussion of religious, social, and political questions in the light of modern ideas and encouraged upper and middle class Muslims to take Western education. The most important reformer among the Muslims was Syed Ahmad Khan, who was tremendously impressed by modern scientific thought and worked all his life to reconcile it with Islam. He believed that the religious and social life of the Muslims could be improved only by imbibing modern Western scientific knowledge and culture. So, promotion of modern education remained his first task throughout his life. As an official, he founded many schools in many towns and had many Western books translated into Urdu. He was the founder of the Muhammadan Anglo-Oriental College at Aligarh, and it acted as a center for spreading Western sciences and culture. Later, this college grew into the Aligarh Muslim University. Said Ahmed Khan was a great believer in religious toleration, as he believed that all religions had a certain underlying unity which could be called practical morality. He believed that a person's religion was his private affair, so he condemned any sign of religious bigotry in personal relations. He also opposed to communal friction. In the Aligarh College, people of all religions had freely contributed the funds whose doors were open to all Indians. Towards the end of his life, he began to talk of Hindu domination to prevent his followers from joining the rising national movement. This was really unfortunate, as he was not a communalist. He only wanted the backwardness of the Muslim middle and upper class to go. His policies were the result of his firm belief that immediate political progress was not possible because the British government could not be easily dislodged. He advised all Indians, and particularly the educationally backward Muslims, to remain aloof from politics, as he felt that the time for politics had not yet come. To prevent Orthodox Muslims from opposing his college, he virtually gave up his agitation in favor of religious reform. It was for the same reason that he didn't do anything to offend the government and have encouraged communalism and separatism. He urged the Muslims to give up medieval customs and ways of thought and behavior. He wrote in favor of raising women's status in society and advocated the removal of purdah and the spread of education among women. He also condemned the customs of polygamy and easy divorce. Said Ahmed was helped by a band of loyal followers who are collectively described as the Aligarh school. Chirag Ali, the Urdu poet, Altaf Hussain Hali, Nazir Ahmed, and Maulana Shibli Naomi were some of the distinguished leaders of the Aligarh school. So that's all for today. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe our channel History Lessons for more content and press the bell icon for regular updates. Thank you.